The war for uranium. That is the summary of my day. The war for uranium, for the precious green justice that lurks below the land, and the game did not make it easy. No, it did not. I don't know how it works exactly, but I feel, and I know it's not true, don't get me wrong, I'm not insane, I'm not putting my tinfoil on here. I finish nearly every stream session, which run about like 8 hours or so, of Factorio in a really good place. Like, consistently, I finished, like, everything's running, everything's great, and now we've got this big thing for tomorrow. So it'd be like, we're doing uranium and nukes tomorrow, or we're doing the mall tomorrow, and then, inevitably, it's almost as if goblins, right, go in, like the shoe goblins in the famous poem, go in, and they just mess everything up at the night. So the second you start playing your next session, everything goes calamitously wrong. Like, immediate. And you spend hours fixing it. Hours. And that happened again. It happened again. What happened? Power. The chain... there's a glory to this game that is hard to quantify unless you've experienced it. But I will try. I will endeavor to verbalize what it is. Something goes wrong that's quite catastrophic, right? And it'll be like, oh, we have no power. Everything is shut down. And when you have a massive, widespread, sprawling base like we do, that is a really bad situation. None of the arms work anymore. Nothing's being produced. Everything stops. It all shuts down. Like, and it's just, you've got no power. And you then start to assess, well, what's the problem? And so you go to you start working your way down these very elaborate long chains that you've created. So you start at one, you're like, oh, the furnaces, the boilers, which have water, which feed my steam engines, have run out of coal. And your brain goes, that's unusual, because every time I've been here, we have had an abundant amount of coal. Just overwhelming amounts of coal. So you grab a lot of the coal that is still excess in the other systems that have shut down, and you fire everything back up. And then you're like, so where is the next why did we run out of coal? You have, like, step 2. Why did we run out of coal? And then you check and you find something like your train is, like, stalled for a moment. Too long. And you're like, well, why is that happening? Because that's never been an issue before. And you check, then you go over to the coal mine, and you're like, well, the coal mine's got abundant amount of coal. Do we need a second train? Are we now burning so much coal that where previously we had abundance, we now don't? It's now dried up, right? Is that the issue? Maybe. So you look into this and you look into that, and then ultimately, it can take a couple of hours. And I had to in order to correct this situation. The situation is a piece of belt is just wrong somewhere. And it's crushed everything. It's crushed it all into the ground. And it's broken and nasty. And it's ruined. And you just don't know what to do to fix it. But I did end up fixing it after I ran around for 25 minutes literally individually hand placing coal into my boilers to get the whole thing working. And it took most of the goddamn day. It took most of the goddamn day to get this fixed and organized. But then, thankfully, I was able to go forward. It was amazing. I could start dropping my Wi-Fi everywhere. And then I discovered all of the enemies that I had spent 2 hours the previous day murdering into the floor had respawned. They were all back again. Everything was back. And I built my copper mine, and it was being destroyed because they were all back again. I had placed the walls down, but the blueprints and my droney boys couldn't reach it yet. So they were all open and wild and all that kind of stuff. And then I had to go back and try and fix it while it was being destroyed and get this going. And then everything shut down again. And I was lost, and I wasn't creating any roboports. Everything had stopped. Research had come to a halt. And then it turned out that I didn't even know was possible, actually. I had run out of oil. My oil mine had died. which then led to me having to sort that out. And I still haven't got anywhere near uranium yet. It was the whole plan for the day. I haven't got anywhere near it, and now I've got no oil. So now I've got to go sort that out and build a new oil mine, which I had access to, but I had to build it, build a new train station, get that working, get that onto the right line, which again involved melding the spaghettification of all my train lines. I would say, I think it took 5 hours before I even started to encroach on getting the uranium, which I had to redo because all of it had respawned. All the enemies were back. They had spread like wildfire to rebuild the walls. And like the hours I had put in previously were a total waste of time. I got the whole thing going again. But I did do it. I got there. I built all the way up. I got to the uranium mine. I put the mines down. I built the track. I built the train. I put the pumps in. I got the fluid there. I built another train station down in my base, ready to receive, and hit the button, and nothing happened. And I'm staring at the mine, the uranium mine, which I've now conquered and protected. And it turns out you need acid. It turns out you need acid. It's special. Uranium is very, very special. You need sulfuric acid. And at this point, I'm very, like, debating, how do I do this? How do I get acid all the way up here? I have oil. I could build a new oil and chemical facility and oil refineries up here to produce acid. I will say a massive thanks to my live chat who went, you don't need a lot. And I was like, maybe I could barrel it then. Can I barrel it down in the other base, put that on the train, and they could bring barrels of acid up and then pour it all over the uranium or whatever the frigging miners have to do in order to get it working. But no, actually, the simple solution was, which I quite liked, was just pump. You don't need a lot of uranium. So you just use one of the train things to just carry sulfuric acid. It picks it up in the base. When the uranium will unload, you will load up sulfuric acid. You'll then drive it all the way up there, and then it will come out, and that will let the miners work, and they should be fine and plentiful, and everybody will be happy and smiley. And I gotta tell you, after nearly 8 hours, seeing that green radioactive sludge come out of the ground was not just a victory for me, but a victory for the people. I feel like it was that way anyway. It was a glorious moment. And now I have no idea what I do with it. I have a lot of research that's unlocked, including nuclear power, which I would really like to get going. I want that glowing energy. I don't know whether it spawns like crazy radioactive beasts or whatever, or if we suddenly start making mutant men. I don't know. But I have it there. But it also, the stark realization was my entire day, which was to get uranium and get nuclear power going, that was my whole day yesterday, was wasted just on getting out of the ground. And now I have 1 day left because Monster Hunter comes out on Friday. And we're there for that because, yeah, of course we're there for that. So I have to send the rocket in 1 day. The good news is my rocket silo research, when I finished my last play session, is at 98%. It's right there, dude. It's right there. So hopefully tomorrow, when I speak to you guys, before I head off to the Race to World First on Sunday, we will be in space. I have a lot of doubters who think this is possible, but they're wrong. And to the live audience who caught this TDP as a spoiler, I'll be back in like, I don't know, half an hour, 45 minutes. Bye.